Question number 11 sees a trigonometry question. You should look at this diagram. It's a nice clue, really. Diagram. You've got a right angled triangle sitting in there quite clearly, and you're being asked to calculate an angle, so you should be thinking about using trigonometry. Let's just read what it's asking us to do. In the diagram, ABC is a triangle, ABC, yeah, and the line BD is perpendicular. BD is perpendicular to AC, which means it is at a right angle to. Angle BAC is 43 degrees, marked on there as well. BD is 8 centimeters, marked on there, and AC is 12 centimeters, which is also marked on the diagram. So everything we need is on the diagram. We're going to use trigonometry to work out the angle BCA, which is BCA. Just going to mark that on there for you. That's BCA. So this is quite a involved question because we've got 6 marks available for it. You start off by thinking about what you need to do, right? The process is work out this length. If you can work out this length, you can then work out this length. And if you've got this length, you can then use this length and this length to work out this angle. So we're going to use trigonometry twice. There is another triangle, there's another 2 triangles, as well as ABC. There is ABD, which is our right angled one, and this also must be a right angled one. So BCD is also a right angled triangle, which we're going to use. We're going to start off by drawing ABD separately, labelling it. There's our right angle. Now, we've got an unknown distance here. That's the thing we're going to try and find in this question. 8 centimeters is the length of BD, and the angle BAD is 43 degrees. Label the triangle first of all. I like to think of right angled triangle trigonometry questions in steps. So first step would be to label the triangle. I'm writing this down for your benefit. You don't have to do this in the exam. So hypotenuse is the one that's opposite the right angle, like in the world of Pythagoras. Opposite the angle that we've been given is BD, and AD, which is what we're going to try and find for this question. This distance between A and D is referred to as the adjacent because it's next to the angle that we have been given. So that's our first step completed. Second step is to remember the acronym SAW. That's an H. CA. That's also an H. And TOA. SAW, CA, TOA. Okay? You may have various different methods for remembering this. So S stands for sine of the angle. That's what S is in SAW. C is cos of the angle, and T is tan of the angle. Now these are your trigonometric ratios, and they are pre-programmed numbers in your calculator, your scientific calculator. I've got them on my one, but my calculator is not great. Your calculator will be much better. So I'm going to go through the whole process, write down everything you're going to need to type into your calculator to work out this distance, and then type it into the calculator. So second step is done, we've remembered this. Third step is the one where some people get tripped up. It's identifying which one of these 3 trig ratios we need to use for this problem. Right, now we find that by looking at the things that we've got in the question. We've got the opposite side, and we've got this angle BAD. We have the angle. So I'm going to use, because I want to find A, and I've got O and A is tan. That's the one that's got O and A in it. A is in that one but no O. O is in that one but no A. So this is the one that's got both. That's the one we're going to use. What you do is you draw yourself a little formula triangle, and you just have to remember that the middle letter is the one that stays at the top. The T and the A are down the bottom, and there's a little multiplication there. So O divided by T gives you A. That's what we've found out using this formula triangle. We're going to do opposite divided by tan of the angle, and that's going to give us A. Now, the nice way to write that is A is equal to opposite over, now we can use the tan of the angle instead of putting this letter T in, tan of the angle. Now when you press this button on your calculator, tan button, it comes up with a bracket and then you can type the angle that you've been given into that space. Okay, so A is equal to opposite, which is 8 over tan of 43. Now let's see if I can bring my calculator in and work that out. So I've got 8 divided by, or 8 over, and I think I might need to put the angle in first and then press tan. So I've got an answer of A equaling 8 over tan 43. I don't think that's correct. Made any sense that I got on using that calculator, and I'm not sure how to use that calculator to get the answer I want. So I've got my scientific calculator, which you can't see. I've typed in exactly this into the calculator, and I've got the answer of A equaling, I'm going to write down all the digits, which is a bit of a faff, but 8.578 949 68. That is the number that you would get on the calculator screen, and that is the distance between A and D. A and D is, in this diagram, 8.57 blah 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 centimeters in length, which means we can now calculate this distance D to C here. All we have to do is 12 minus our answer that we got here. So that's what I'm going to do on the calculator, and I'm going to draw this second right angled triangle, which is BDC, and I'm going to put the angle in that we want to find, and I know that that's still 8 centimeters, and I can do the calculation to work out the distance here between D and C. So I know that this distance, I'm going to write all the digits again, even though you wouldn't need to do that. You've got them on your calculator screen. 3.42, 105, 032 centimeters. Nice and accurate. So that is that length there. Now again, we're just going to go through this whole process. We need to label the triangle. Again, that's our hypotenuse. And we need to label this side the opposite, because it's opposite the angle we want to find this time, and this again is the adjacent. So we've got the 3 sides of our right angled triangle labeled. Check. We need SOHCAHTOA again. Well, it's up there. So I'm not going to write it out again. And we have opposite and we have the adjacent this time. That's something that we have got. So we're going to use TOA again. And again, we've got the formula triangle, but this time we're trying to work out T, tan of the angle, right? So I'm going to write out tan of the angle, tan of X, and that's the thing we do not have at the moment, is equal to the opposite over the adjacent, O over A. So substitute our numbers in, tan of the thing we're trying to find, the angle, which equals 8 over the answer that you've got on your calculator screen. So I'm going to put answer, and that's what I'm going to type into the calculator when I have inversed the trig ratio. You can't divide by tan, so the way that we get around that is we inverse the tan. So we get X is equal to, then on your calculator you will press shift and tan. That's an equal symbol, by the way, it's not very clear. So you've got tan to the -1 comes up, it opens up a bracket for you, and you put in 8 over answer, and that is all you need to type into the calculator. Once you've worked, if this is the number you've got on your screen on your calculator, that is your answer. So I'm not going to write all those digits in, I'm just going to use the answer button, And I'll just work that out, and I'll write down the answer in a second. So x equals, and I'm going to shift tan to -1, fraction button, 8 over answer, close the bracket at the end, equals, and I've got the answer of 66.84693, etc. Okay, so I'm going to round that to, and it doesn't tell me to any specific degree of accuracy, so I'm just going to go to 1 decimal place in this question, just to be on the safe side. So 66.8 degrees, and that would get you 6 marks.